Agent Donna, you are being assigned to Guam, an island in the South Pacific. The local Chamorro greeting is Hafa a day. I hope I pronounced that right. You will be working with Agent Dougal, our local man who is familiar with the region. He'll brief you when you arrive. Quite simply though, you will be hiding evidence of extraterrestrial visits to Guam by creating a local legend to distract people's attention. I have no need to tell you of the importance of our work, which is why I am saying this sentence, to remind you. Do not fail us.
So how long do you think this will take?
Half a day.
Excuse my manners. Half a day. Good morning.
No, I seriously meant half a day.
Oh,
Don't worry. It's a common enough mistake for tourists that it's become a kind of joke here. You know, that's my favorite kind of folklore.
that doesn't surprise me. Okay, so the boss told me we need to make a folklore designed to hide the aliens that were used on the island.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one who reported them.
Okay, cool. So now I need to study local folklore, analyze it, and use the elements of that to create our own legend, right?
Yeah. I've been gathering a lot of stories from people around here, so we should be able to do this pretty quickly.
Really? I could have just done this online instead of me flying 17 hours?
You do realize you're on a tropical island with all expenses paid, right?
Good point. I brought this book of Hawaiian legends if it helps.
We'll look through it, but you gotta be careful. Some of the islands out here have their own unique culture, and assuming one Pacific island has the same folklore as another is very dangerous. For example, check out this decoration on my wall.
The wood carving?
Yeah, it's traditional Pompeian wood carving. It's a material folklore done by the men, and many of them learn it in the prison on the island. They have a school specifically for it. Oh, by the way, most of them are pornographic, so be careful looking them up.
Pompeii, like the city in Venice?
No, totally different spelling.
Oh,
I mean, we do have a place called the Venice of the Pacific around here, but we aren't getting into that today.
okay. So, shall we begin?
Sure.
Today's program is not brought to you by the number 51 or the letters CIA. It's really brought to you by
Okay, let's see what we've got.
There's this legend about the White Lady Bridge. Apparently, if you go there, turn off your car engine and wait long enough, the ghost of a murdered woman will appear. Woo!
Donna?
I'm back.
Okay, well, I did have a friend who did that once. She said the ghost did come, and it freaked her out. You gotta be careful with those legend trips.
You know, it's it sounds a lot like those ghost kids pushing cars uphill stories you hear about in the Americas. So, are all of these contemporary folklore, or are there older legends that will draw on?
Yeah, that's a bit of a challenge. I mean, there's some that claim to be older. Take, for example, Two Lovers Point. Long story short, it's the cliff where Romeo and Juliet happened. The legend has changed a bit over time. Newer details include them being about different classes or being Spanish and Chamorro instead of just from warring tribes.
That sounds like no one could talk to me. Do you have a picture of the place?
No, you have to pay to go there. And you know what they say? The best things in life are free.
They also say there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Tell that to the girls I keep taking out on dates.
Are there any Guam specific proverbs you know?
I've never heard of any.
Okay, we can leave out any pithy remarks from our final folklore. I'm hungry. Do you have anything to eat?
Yeah, in the cupboard behind you.
All you've got is spam.
You have something against spam?
I've never heard it being rated as a good dinner.
That's just a spam legend cycle by people who are too good to use microwaves. Out here, people love it. Check this out. Spam Christmas displays in stores.
You've got to be kidding me.
What's the matter? Can't handle the pressure? Get it? Can't and ham?
Did you just make 2 puns in one sentence?
I know. I sometimes spam the puns. And if that's not enough, check out this spam Christmas decoration I got my first year here.
Please tell me you did not put that on your tree.
Well...
Okay, enough break. I can't handle any more spam puns. So what's with these these ancestral spirit things?
You mean the Tao Tamona? When you think Guam ghost story, these are the things you think of. The ancestral spirits that live in the woods. If you don't show the proper respect to them, they'll make you lose your way in the jungle.
The island is 30 miles at its biggest point. You're never more than 5 miles from a road. How do people get lost?
I'll be honest, it happened to me too. I was going through the jungle to an old Spanish fort on a cliffside and saw these pink markers which they used to indicate trails and went off to the side. I followed them into the jungle past a banyan tree, which is where the spirits live, and promptly got lost, even though I was literally right next to the trail. The only reason I found my way out was because I was able to see an electricity pole in the distance and cut my way through the jungle to that. It's really rough in the jungle. You learn a lot about botany. For example, I always thought the state flower was hibiscus, but I discovered that there's actually a hibiscus and a lobiscus.
Did you discover that by falling down too many times?
Maybe.
Hang on. I think I remember this from the cover-up creation class. Let me check the database. Found it. In the BYU Folklore Archive, there's an account of the Duende, a similar Filipino spirit. You know, I wonder if there's a connection. Perhaps the Guam spirits are really an Oika type, something that seems to be from a culture but really isn't. Both Guam and the Philippines are islands that were conquered by and ruled over by the Spanish for centuries. Maybe the stories spread along the trade route.
Well, while it would be nice to be able to discover where the legend started, that's just impractical. Folklorists gave that up decades ago. Now let's focus on what ideas we can pull from it.
In a similarity with the Philippine account, they also like pinching people who use the bathroom in the jungle.
Yeah, that didn't happen to me.
It's interesting that both island chains use the term pinching. Maybe we could use that.
How could we do any pinching? We don't have hands. We're sock puppets.
I meant maybe we could do some sort of pinching creature.
Okay, but they don't just pinch. That's kind of the least bad thing they do. They also do pretty bad stuff to people who offend them. Like, look at this memory of an elementary school class that went to a historic village. Some girls were being obnoxious in a building that had been shot up by Japanese planes in World War II while standing next to an altar. The sort most Catholic countries have. While they were joking around, one had a nosebleed and the other was temporarily blinded.
That doesn't quite fit the MO of the other stories. I thought they were jungle spirits, not poltergeists.
They're ancestral spirits, not jungle spirits or haunted house spirits. The house has been around and inhabited for over a century. That's a lot of ancestors passed through there.
How did the Chamorro people react to this story?
Well, the teacher's co-workers who are from Guam all said that the girls would be plagued by bad luck until they made amends with the Tao Temona.
I bet the emails were flying back and forth that day.
Yeah, and it wasn't even spam mail.
Don't get into that again.
Will Donna and Dougal ever come up with a brand new fake legend? Will the alien presence on Guam be safely discovered before they do? Will Donna ever be able to keep Dougal from making spam puns? Find out what happens next time on The Folklore Final. Sequel not included.